All right, let's get this party started. How is everyone tonight? Good. I got a lot of questions. I got to get to answering them. Someone asked me a question. I don't see it on here. How old I thought Cole Skywalker was when he died. I know the last Q&A, I read it as Luke Skywalker. I don't know what I was thinking. I think Cole was, what do you want to say, folks? Mid to late 30s when he died. I would say that. Someone also asked me, and I don't see the question here anymore, but I remember someone asked me if I read any of the Goosebumps books. No, I did not. I was too old for that. My little brothers loved Goosebumps. My wife loves Goosebumps because they're younger than me. But I was already a teenager by then, and no. But I would have back in the day. I would have loved Goosebumps if I was the right age. Getting to some of your questions that were on my channel here. Sentinel says, Matt, I've seen your videos before, and while I agree with everything you say and what you stand for, I have yet to hear any real solution other than the Gandhi policy you seem to prefer, and that has beared little fruit. And then he goes on to say that if, you know, Disney, oh, I got a burp. No, it's not coming. Hold on. There, excuse me. He went on to say that if Disney was to take over or continue Legends. Mrs., do you want in the? No, that's not it. It was the little smelling salts one. Oh, that's fine. Do you want to say hello? Okay. All right. Mrs. does not want to say hello. Hi. That doesn't count. She should get on video. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. And I guess he doesn't really ask the question, but he goes into how if Disney and Lucasfilm were to take over Legends, it would be terrible because supposedly a lot of the new books are not that good. I like to think differently. I mean, there's nothing we can do but speculate, folks. But I truly believe, remember, Del Rey is not going to screw this up. They're going to be the ones who are going to be handed the ball, and they're probably going to go with their old playbook, or they should. They will have much more free reign. Imagine it, because it doesn't matter what happens in their books, in Legends books. You can have what-if stories. You can go big, which is what Del Rey wants to do, but I guarantee you they're being told, don't go big. Don't do anything that may, anyway, in some sort, way, shape, fashion, and form, go against the movies. Play it safe, play it small, play it insignificant. And I know Del Rey is unhappy with that. By the way, that the meat in a lot of these stories from the new canon, that could be a reason they're so lackluster, is because they can't tackle big stuff like they could during the expanded universe. And I guarantee you, if Del Rey had their shot, thank you. Oh, if Del Rey had their shot, then they would definitely bring back, I think they'd bring back Troy Denning, Michael Stackpole, you know, all the old authors they used to. And someone else had asked a question, I believe it was Jedi Alkalite, but and this kind of ties into the answer for him too. He said, would I want the new authors to write for the old canon? No. In fact, I think Del Rey did a smart move getting new authors for new canon. I think that's a smart move. It's like it's a new beginning, bring in different authors. I think they should continue to try out new authors and give them a shot. It is kind of unfair that Troy Denning, Christy Golden, Michael Stackpole got to write, you know, a lot of the last few books along with Karen Traviss. But it's good they're letting new people do it. Now, if they were allowed to let Legends open up, I think they should stick with older writers who are familiar with that universe. And I honestly think they'd do a good job with it because then they wouldn't be tied down with so many things. Remember, folks, and again, I think I've said this, but one of the reasons why I think the new canon suffers a little bit, well, a lot of it, is because they can't really go anywhere or do anything that may contradict a movie or TV. And that really hinders your storytelling when we're basically telling them, tie both your hands and feet together and then run a mile in under 10 minutes. What? It's just like they're handicapping Del Rey, because I know Del Rey can come up with great authors who come up with great stories. And I would love to hear how many stories from Del Rey have been, you know, given the thumbs down or rejected by the new Lucasfilm under Disney. I bet it's a lot. That was more than an answer than you probably wanted, but there you go. Kid Creator. I haven't read, he has a lot of questions here. I haven't read any New Jedi Order books, but I heard that Anakin Solo was, oh, by the way, he has a ton of spoilers here, but I don't care about spoilers on a Q&A. But he talks about Anakin Solo and New Jedi Order getting killed off, and that there's George Lucas ordered that because he didn't want there being a confusion between Anakin Solo and Anakin Skywalker, which was coming out in the then prequel trilogy, and that is true, Kid Creator. What are my thoughts on it? I mean, I didn't even know that Lucas had ordered that or had changed that, and so to me, it didn't really matter. But you know, you asked another question about another major character who dies in Karen Travis's novel and Legacy of the Force, and asked me what I thought about that. I always, even though I didn't agree with every death or I didn't want every character to die, I always applauded when they were bold enough to make that call. Killing off characters I thought was brilliant. Were there characters killed off that I didn't want to be killed off? Oh, yes. But I applaud each and every death because it was something I didn't see coming, and those books really treated us as grown-ups and adults. Meaning you don't always have the best happy ending. So I really did like that. You ask a question I get all the time. What lightsaber training, if lightsaber, oh gosh, I can't remember, form would I have? It'd probably be, I want a Form 6, but the more practical answer would be a Form 3. But what would be my signature force power? What do I want? Maybe, you know, the pushing people, you know, lifting things, bouncing the force. I don't know what that's, telekinesis. That'd be kind of cool. You know, I don't think about talking to animals. I don't know if that'd be all right. But no, I think the telekinesis thing would be cool. He says, question number 3, have I heard of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Yes, I have. And do you think Jango Fett knew about Order 66? No, I did not. I don't think he did. I think he just cared about making the clones, getting paid, having his own clone, having a place to hang out, and he didn't care what Dooku or what the big plans were. He's just trying to make a buck. So I personally, I don't think Jango Fett did, but I don't think it was because he was too stupid. I think it was because he didn't care. It was just like he said, it's just a job. I mean, heck, he kills off Zam Wesell because it's a job, right? Not because they had this kinship. Well, in the comic books, in the EU, they had this kinship prior to Episode 2. John asked a few questions. Actually, makes a lot of comments. I like how your questions are just comments. But one off, he talks about he's excited about the new movie Leatherface, the prequel. I loved Chainsaw Massacre, the first one and the second one. Dennis Hopper, crazy Dennis Hopper riding around with 2 chainsaws is just, that's my cup of tea. The other ones were okay. 3 was okay. 4 was pretty fun. Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger before they were famous. So there's some fun stuff there too. The newer one I did see, I thought was okay, but I'm not much into prequels. So we'll have to see. The missus is excited, so that means I'll probably go see it. He says, oh, he makes a comment that he doesn't normally care about Disney canon, but he said there was an article he read where Disney says, where someone suggested that Disney should cool it. They're bringing out way too much content, you know, a movie all the time. They're trying to get out maybe two TV series now. Who knows what they're going to do, but they're just flooding the market with all this. True, they are flooding the market, but I mean, in Star Wars has it tough, man. They have it tough. Someone else asked a question. I cannot remember who it was, but I'm going to answer this one as well. He said, why aren't the toys selling as well? I think Dark Novia asked that question. And I think these answers tie together. I think not because there's an overabundance of Star Wars, or that Star Wars has a lot of competition these days. I mean, George Lucas got the prequels off just in time before we started getting bombarded with franchises. And I mean, superheroes started getting big after 2005. And just all this stuff started entering the market. Now we have big budget movies coming in. And Star Wars doesn't have the staying power as it used to. I don't think it means it's less popular. I do think it means there's way more competition. And I think that's why we see a lot more. Because you're right, I do not see those toys being swept up like they used to be. People used to buy things left and right. But now Star Wars isn't on the brain. And Dark Novia, if you're leading to the fact to get me to say that they cut off their hardcore fans, you are correct. They did. They cut off the EU fans. They did spit in their face, and we were also the people who bought a bunch of toys. And there's a lot of people like me who stopped buying them. Now, that attributes to some of the lack of sales, but not probably the whole. The whole and the main reason would be because there's so many other franchises and just stuff out there to collect and get now. I mean, there's people just don't collect. Toys used to be the only thing you could collect. Now, dang, models, Funko Pops, which I think are totally stupid, but a bunch of people love those, so I guess I shouldn't make fun of them. But there's tons of things to collect now. And so toys just aren't the only novelty. So that would be the #1 reason. But yes, because they just, cut out their hardcore franchise, their hardcore fans, or a lot of them who like the EU, I should say, then I believe that does impact sales, even though slightly. And it says, John's question again, what other franchises do you wish had expanded universes that currently don't? I wish Firefly had a bigger expanded universe. They have comic books, which weren't very good, but I got anyway. I wish Spartacus. Spartacus only had 2 books, which I thought were fan-friggin-tastic, but in a very short-lived micro series comic book that I have, which was okay. I thought was good too, but I wish that one had one. But Tremors, folks, Tremors has had their 6th movie is coming out next year, and I'm so excited about Tremors 6, by the way. And Kevin Bacon's going to star in the rebooted TV show. I say rebooted because they already had a TV show. I'm hoping it connects with the franchise. But they never had any comic books. They never had any books. They didn't have video games or T-shirts or anything. So Tremors probably be my #1 there. Let's see. Stephen, you asked me about Cole. So hopefully, Stephen, I got your answer right. Alex Starr, did I have many EU friends before 2014? Yeah, I had a few. Bruce, I had a guy at work called Jeremy. He and I would talk Star Wars because he read them. My brother used to read them, and then he moved away to college, and he wanted to keep getting them, but it just cost too much, and he was a college kid, so he couldn't afford that. So he got out of it, and when he came back from college, I remember he told me, hey, I want to get back in it, because he was reading more than me. My brother used to read more. He was ahead. I was embarrassed. Like, I introduced him to Star Wars. Now he's reading more than me. But when he came back from college, he went, hey, how many did I miss? I want to get back. Well, he had missed 4 years of content. And there was just like tons of stuff after that because the prequels were out and they were making. I said, okay, here's all the stuff. He was like, that's too much. I'm not going to do it. And so he bowed out. Now, he and my other little brother would still let me talk to them about what was going on. My brother still liked to listen about what was happening with the expanded universe. So I had a handful of friends, but and then online StarWars.com, and of course, if what you're saying is, hey, since Disney took over Star Wars, then yes, I have discovered tons more EU friends online, and I think it's just wonderful. That's actually one of the best things that happened with the Disney takeover is that I found way more people who love the expanded universe just as I do. Dark Novia. He said, why do people give EU fans crap for not giving the new canon a chance when they never did for the EU? When they never did for the EU, why do you think that we owe Lucasfilm something when they didn't consider, really consider us being paying customers? The whole thing, I think it's wrong, Dark Novia. I don't think fans of the new canon should say that. However, and this is a question I also got, and Short Stormtrooper asked this question as well, is what do I think about EU fans who say the same of new canon fans, who say, well, if you like the new canon, then you're not part of us. You can't be part of our expanded universe fan club because you like the new canon, you traitor. No, they can. And so we got to be careful about doing that because it's wrong. You're right, it is wrong for new canon people to say that. For Star Wars fans in general to say, oh, if you like the EU, then you're just right. You should give the new canon a chance. Well, then you should back us up and tell Lucasfilm to give us more expanded universe. No, you piss on us, you laugh on us, you laugh at us, and you make fun of us. How's that going to get anyone to the new canon? I don't know. So you have a catch-22 there, but I don't think EU fans should be doing it either. In fact, on Matt Chat, which went up today on the expandeduniverse.com, I actually addressed this a little bit about EU fans being careful about how they deal with people who like the new and the old canon, because I think those are EU fans as well, regardless of what they like. Remember, folks, I've already said on my channel, I don't care what you do, what you look like, what you believe in. If you like the expanded universe, that's really all that matters when we're talking about this. I don't even care who you voted for. But anyway, so that's what I think about that. And I will go into more detail on it in my next Matt Chat, which I have recorded. I just need to edit it and put it up. But I'm going to address those issues. So good questions. His second question, why do people, oh, there's the toy question. And number 3, how, I know you feel about adaptations for most books, but do you think that it's important that these adaptations stand on their own rather than be true to the source material? I think in the majority of the time they should be true to the source material. I want a movie of a book to be based on the book and be like just ripped right from the pages of the book. I expect that. I don't get that because directors think that they can do better than a best-selling novel. And Peter Jackson is dead wrong. I do not like Lord of the Rings movies. I despise the Lord of the Rings movies and the Hobbit movies. I'm sorry. I love the books. I love Lord of the Rings. In fact, it's on my reread list. My reread list. I've read these things a million times. I want to read it again. I think they're beautiful, and it's a shame what Peter Jackson did to the movies. He butchered those books. It was just terrible. If you say, well, man, hold on now. Frodo carried the ring, though. No, no, no. You don't remember the book. But the book is done right, and the gall that directors have to say, I think I can do better than the book. They are wrong. Folks, Jurassic Park and Lost World are even better than their movies. I actually reread those books, and they are fan-friggin-tastic. Well worth your time. And what do you think is a reboot done right? Well, this is kind of a hard question because I don't know if it counts as a reboot, but Highlander. Highlander had a movie series that, you know, beginning and ended, and then they did a TV series that kind of said, well, that wasn't the end. They kind of rebooted a little bit and said, well, those events happened, but that wasn't the final, you know, battle. We're still living the final battle. So I think Highlander did it best. And can that technically be called a reboot because they are including the old movies? They just switched up a few things. It's like Stargate for some reason. Stargate, the TV show, switched them from, what was it, Marines to the Air Force, the military force. And I don't know why they decided to do that. That was a little weird to me, but they did. So that's like I don't know, what is that called? Not a remake, not a reboot, a soft reboot? I don't know. So I think they did it right. Dr. Cube says, I see a lot of people in your comments insulting the new EU. Well, yeah, it's my channel. Anyway, he says, I understand if they don't like the material, but I'm getting tired of seeing everything new sucks instead of a legitimate discussion. Well, Dr. Cube, first off, if you talk to them, I'm sure some of them could give you one. Now, where Dr. Cube is correct, though, will be, and I will agree with him, if you're just saying everything new sucks, and just because you don't like it, you just don't want to give it a chance, that's fine, but you know, you don't know if it sucks. Bruce, one of my buddies on Prince of the Universe podcast, he reads the new stuff, and he is quite honest and says that a lot of it sucks. In fact, he's only liked 2 of the books, Timothy Zahn's book and Lost Stars. Those are the only 2 books he's liked. The rest of them have been junk and worthless, and not much to talk about. He said they're mostly ho-hum. So, I mean, for people like that who say that, maybe it just sucks because it sucks. Dr. Cube, if you like it, though, that's really all that matters. There's a lot of things that I like that people think suck. Like, I love Kevin J. Anderson. I got to hear about how much he sucked on StarWars.com in the forums all the time. All the time. I was just pissed. Everything Kevin J. Anderson sucks. I hope they never bring him back again. I was like, what are you guys talking about? Give me a reason why he sucks. He sucks because he sucks, you know. So I understand how that can be aggravating, Dr. Cube, but haters gonna hate. You know what? And I don't care what they think because I think that Kevin J. Anderson stuff is the bomb. But anyway, Senator Confer, what is one idea or piece of lore, character series, etc., that you have heard in the Star Wars canon that sounds interesting to you? And I'm going to add this, but was never explored. And I would say that is definitely Platt O'Keefe from West End Games. She was an interesting character, and I wish they would have made stories about her and given her a background. Heck, I really wish she would have had her own novel. She would have been awesome for a comic book character, but I think that would be one, since you did say character. Let's see. And there's a lot of stuff from West End Games, actually. I got to add the Darkstrider campaign, too, because I really like the Darkstrider campaign. That would be another one, the story that I wish they would have gone into more. Even though the West End Games kind of gives you the entire adventure, but I'd like to see it written out by Timothy Zahn, who wrote the first chapter for it. That's why I even got it. I had Darkstrider campaign before I started collecting any of the West End game material, because Timothy Zahn wrote the first chapter, and when I saw that, I went, oh, I got to buy it because it's EU. Hi, I'm Matt, and I have a problem. Admitting it is the first step, folks. All right, Jedi Acolyte asked some interesting questions. The first one he asked, Jedi Acolyte, I've answered this one before. What Sith Lord would you want covered in a novel that hasn't been? Darth Ruin, I think, would be fantastic. Or Darth, is it Tenebris? Plagueis is a master. I actually, from hearing James Lucino talk about him, I'd like to see a book about him too. But Jedi Acolyte's other questions are when this is the way you phrase a question, folks. When Legends is continued. Oh, that's the new authors. When I answered that one. So the second one was, other than Dark Horse and Marvel, what other comic book company would you trust to handle Star Wars? Well, you kind of cut me off at the kneecaps there, right? Because all I can say is DC or Image or some small independent company. But I'm gonna say, if I had my choice, DC is doing some amazing things right now in comic books. They are really listening to their fans. They're really caring about their fans. They are swallowing swallowing their pride and their egos and just giving the fans what they want. For instance, Chuck Dixon, who'd all been but blackballed from comic books these days because of his conservative views, and comic books are definitely liberal leaning these days. DC brought him back because fans love his story. Has nothing to do whether it be conservative or liberal, but he just writes good stuff. And so DC, who ousted him, killed off all of his side characters on the comic books he was working on. I mean, really just kicked him in the face. But now that's under new management, is it Jeff Loeb? I can't remember who's running DC right now. Can't remember the name. Anyway, someone's going to say it in the comments. But he's really stepping up, and they're kind of apologizing to fans about, how they treated the comic book characters and how they did wrong. Something that Marvel needs to wake up and do, because Marvel is losing big time in comic book sales right now, and the Marvel authors are getting blasted on social media and online. So DC seems to be doing things right for the fans. So I would let DC take a crack at Legends. Okay, so there's probably only a billion questions I've missed. Yep, here they go. All right. Oh, James, I do have a tan. I did go to the beach, a few weeks ago? Yeah, it was a few weeks ago. Had a blast. That's a family vacation, and it is always fun to be on that family vacation because the beach is so relaxing. Let's see what we got here. James says, do I think the dark side is stronger? No. Yoda answered this question. No. Should I quote Yoda? I can't remember Yoda's exact word for word quote, but quote Yoda. Is the dark side? No. Tempting. Well, I can't remember what he says now. That's embarrassing. I need to go see those movies again. Danzo, I agree with you. I think the EU is much better than the movies. But you know what, Danzo? You and I, buddy, are in a small minority. Okay? Everyone loves the movies, and then they love the expanded universe. But I think the expanded universe is actually way better. It's way more. I mean, George Lucas had great ideas, and letting more creative people play in his sandbox was a smart idea. Jonathan, I did hear about Colin Trevorrow leaving as Episode 9. Actually, Bruce and I on Prince of the Universe, we talk about that. Bruce wanted to do some Disney bashing, so I went ahead and let him. And we talked about how Lucasfilm is losing a lot of off directors, and they're getting a bad name. And folks, when Lawrence Kasdan gets to tell the director how to do his own movie, the writer is in control of the set over the director, because that's what happened in the Han Solo movie. You got problems. You got problems. Now, you know, some people cheer those problems. For all the other fans out there, I hope they work them out. But they are obviously having director problems and director creativity. And it seems like if you're with Lucasfilm, you have to do things according. They don't want creativity. That is for sure. No matter what they say, they do not want creativity. You have to follow their storyline. No thinking outside the box. No trying something new. Oh, they'll say that. They'll say that to the. We hope they really take it as their own and move on with it. No, we hope they take it as their own, but do exactly what we said, scene for scene, shot for shot, or we're letting them go. And I think that's what's happening. So it's not good. Not a good reputation to have. Yankee, I hope I'm saying your name right. Yankee East. I just read Revan based on your review and liked the ending. I did too. I don't get the hate. I don't get it either. Well, no, I do. Actually, people who played the game, they didn't like that was Revan's ending. So I get that. I didn't really play Old Republic, so I don't really care in a way. I cared about the book, and I thought the book was pretty good. But people who played the video game, supposedly that's why they didn't like it. There have been some people who've Ham Solo. There have been some people who've written old and new, and that's fine. But I think I like Del Rey's decision on bringing in new authors. Which death of Even Peel did you think was more preferable? His death in Filoni's Clone Wars or Coruscant Nights? Quantum, I have a theory. First off, I think that the Clone Wars was propaganda and it never happened. And Coruscant Nights is way cooler. But I also have a theory that can make both happen. Maybe I'll share it someday. Not now. I actually wrote a short story about it, actually. It's a short story. A 2-page short story that takes place during Coruscant Nights. At the very beginning, the Emperor's getting a report. Palpatine's getting a report on what just happened, and he's thinking about it. And it kind of explains everything in just 2 pages. Maybe I'll share that on Star Wars. No, maybe I'll share that on theexpandeduniverse.com. Ting! Shameless plug! All right, let's see. Do I think Jason should have been killed off in New Jedi Order? No, because they had a rock awesome story for him going afterwards. I think the right call was made there. Darth Bane, you're in for some of the best reading you'll ever have. Have I watched or read Game of Thrones, says Dark Phoenix Ninja? No. Here's the thing. George R. Ramona is going to die before he finishes that series. It's going to tick me off. Now, I've been suckered into reading a book before it's finished. That was Robert Jordan, who died finishing his, what's this called? Wheel of Time series. And so I was very ticked off. And so I promised myself I would never read another series until it was finished. So if George R. Martin finally decides to, finish it, which he won't, he'll die before they're finished, and someone else will come in and finish it, then I plan to, because I hear good things. Will I watch the TV show? I will once it's done. I only watch TV shows now when they're done or if their name is Survivor. I love Survivor. Can't wait for this season. But yeah, so I've heard great things. So, and any spoilers that I heard from Game of Thrones, like someone dying, I can't remember what his name is, but oh, he died, and is he alive? And White Walkers, and I don't know. I'm going to forget it all when I watch the series and enjoy it. What's my least favorite Legends novel? Ooh, Ham Solo. We'll get to it. I'm saving that for the reviews. What are your thoughts on the new Hot Toys Anakin Skywalker 6 scale action figure? Can't wait to get it. Those, you know what, Quantum, those Hot Toys are pretty nice. The toy man, the Jaina Solo, hey, looks really nice too. If Lucasfilm decides to return to Legends years from now, what will be the first era you'd like to see them revisit? Definitely post-Jedi. Definitely post-Jedi. I'm a post-Jedi fan. So after Troy Denning's last book, I'd love to see a pickup from that. Will I see the new It movie? Going Friday, I believe. Ooh. Ooh, thank you. I think I'm supposed to get tickets. I may not be going Friday. No one was at the box office last week, and they'll definitely be crowding it this week because we got to see a movie. My wife wants to see it, so yes, we'll probably go see it. I saw the TV movie. I liked it back in the day. It's very dated. Don't go see it now. But Tim Curry does a great Pennywise. This new guy, I'm sure it's going to be a good movie, but I don't think it'll be a Tim Curry, but I got to get out of my head that there can be other people who can play that role. So I hope to enjoy it. Dark Phoenix, I'm not following anything on video games, but I hear the Legends mod for Empires at War is really good, and I do hope it's successful. I'm just not into video games. Happy to know people are still doing live streams in September 2017. Andy, I'm just old. Old-fashioned. What's the new one? Twitch? Twitch? Yeah, no, I'm not. What? Get out of here. Let's see. What would you do if someone left all the new canon material that's come out on your doorstep? I'd probably leave it there. Probably take it off and dump it. I have no interest in it. I just don't. I donate it probably. You know, to the local library. Just stamp fake on the cover. Oh, Captain Chrome, Hurricane Irma's coming towards you. Be careful, man. Be careful. As a Louisianian, we have lots of hurricanes ourselves, but I know it's not fun. No, it's not fun. I actually donated 100 sets of clothes to the Houston people out there. The hurricane victims around South Texas and everything around Houston. And I missed out on BGG was doing a donation for board games, and it made its goal within an hour. And I was like, oh no, I wanted to donate games. So I just went to the local donation place where they were taking water, supplies, and clothes. And I said, would you guys take board games? Like, board games? I said, well, there's tons of families out there. They don't have a home. They won't have electricity. Maybe a board game, doesn't require, a charger for your cell phone or something. And maybe it's something they can play with in its kids' games. And they're like, oh, yeah, I guess we would. And I was like, okay. So I boxed about 25 games and gave it to them. So really happy about that. Okay, Dark Phoenix says, I really want to start reading EU comics, but there are no comic stores near me. Oh, that sucks, man. Is eBay or Amazon my best bet? Probably, but, and someone help him out here, does Marvel's new app, it's a service now, I can't remember how much you have to pay monthly, but I think it includes all of the Legends comic books. I think it does. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it does. And Dark Phoenix, I think it's like $10 or $5 a month. Even if it's $10 a month or 15, you should still go for that and just read them all. I mean, that's a really good deal to read them all. And if you want to have them all, Marvel's been reprinting a lot of them digitally, and that's really cheap. eBay is always a good choice. Amazon, probably not, unless you're going for used trades. And I love Amazon, but in this case, I would say go to the digital. Digital, you can get it really cheap. And they've done sales on Star Wars books before too, digital books. A little bit of everything. We need to chat about board games again. Spence, just let me know, brother. I am ready to chat. Love board games. Yeah, James. People, the Facebook page for Star Wars. I mean, the way they treat EU fans is just atrocious, just atrocious. And polite ones. There are impolite EU fans, and they get exactly what they deserve. But people who are nice and respectful, I've seen some very rude treatment of those fans. Brian says, what audiobooks would you say are a must listen for Star Wars Expanded Universe? He says, confession, I haven't heard many. Brian, neither have I. I remember I listened to Legacy of the Force on CD on my way back from the beach because I forgot to bring the book, and I read like the other 4 books that week and had to read it, so I bought it on CD. I don't know, folks. Can we give them some suggestions? The later ones would probably be good. You know what? That's a lie. I think I've listened to Dark Empire. I know I've listened to Dark Empire, and I want to say I've listened to another one too, but I can't remember. But I'm not the guy to answer that one. Good question though. What Marvel comic storyline would I like to see adapted to film? They've basically done Marvel. I'm not that big of a Marvel fan, but you know what? I like Spider-Man. I just watched those old Sam Raimi ones, and the third one is not bad. Actually, the third one is actually better than I remembered. Probably the Carnage story, not Maximum Carnage, just the first Carnage story, because I have that series. Or I love where Harry Jr. dies as the Green Goblin. That's another good one, too. So it'd probably be something with Spider-Man. Well, I liked what they did with Homecoming. Do I enjoy alternate history stories? Dark Phoenix, I'm sure I would. Like Harry Turtledoves sound really interesting, and someday I will. But I have a reading stack of how many books right now? 4, 6, 10, 15. Do I have 15 books now? 15 or 16 books to read on my reading list, and that's for the year. I need to start hopping on it, right? So yeah, maybe someday, but no, I haven't read that many. I haven't read any, I don't think, but I would probably be interested in that because I just love reading. Have I read Watchmen? Yes, Tanner, and I think it's fantastic. I think Watchmen is fantastic. The movie, okay. It's okay visually, but it's not as good as a comic book. Did the woodchuck chuck wood after chucking woodchuck's wood? Oh no. Reading Jedi Crit. Oh yeah, Jedi Academy trilogy is good stuff. Favorite Star Wars era? Answer that in post Jedi. Pre-Republic and Old Republic were good. They just weren't fleshed out in the books and comic books as much. Do you think of the original idea for Episode 3 with Padme taking a knife to Anakin on Mustafar to kill him? I don't know. I've never really thought it. Do I think the original idea? No, I don't know. I don't know though. All right, let me keep moving here. Jeff Johns, thank you. I knew someone would say, "Oh no!" And just I thought I was caught up. I was like, "Yeah, I did it. I caught up," and this thing just jumped on me like big time. That is awesome. I was like, "Goodness gracious! I caught up finally for the first time ever." No, I did not. Other than Ewoks, my favorite species in the come on, Zeltrons, maybe because they just like to have fun. Yeah, I guess that's it. Zeltrons? Is that Hoojibs from the Marvel comic books? Those are fun. I'm taking Marvel comic book characters, the original Marvel comic book characters. I don't know. I guess those maybe. Oh, what? Your Senator Confer says what? My question was about the new canon. I haven't. Nothing from the new canon interests me. I'm not being mean. I'm not being mean when I say that. It's just just nothing they have doesn't just interest me. It doesn't. Should I think if Legends came back, should they borrow any stories from the new canon? No. From what I hear, there's nothing really much out there. But I would be opposed to that anyway because I think they should keep them separate and fun. Shia LaBeouf won't be in Indiana Jones 5. Yeah, that's because he's crazy, but that's actually a good thing. He actually dogged on that movie. He's kind of a jerk, I think. Oh, the Vong is really good. That's a good. You asked me a question, Spencer, and then you upshow me by giving a great answer. Thanks. When is Return to Endor coming? Thank you, Jeremy. When is my book Return to Endor coming out? Well, I might have some free time on my hands in the next couple of months, and if so, I actually thought about that today. So, because I'm gonna have some free time on my hands. I'm gonna be hitting the road again soon. So, with work, and if that's the case, then hey, maybe I'll look at Return to Endor and bring it out. Yeah, John, you missed all. John, I answered all your questions and talked bad about you too, brother. You missed everything. I'm just kidding. I didn't answer your questions though. All right, come on, dude. Scroll. What do I think about Star Wars Battlefront 2? Captain Chrome, I'm not into video games as much, so I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I'm sorry. Dark Phoenix, that's funny. No creativity. No wonder Disney gave them the license to EA. EA gets a lot of hate, and I think it's for good reason too. Lots of comments. I like this because I'm catching up here. Whoops. How did I go back here? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to catch up with the comments here. This is fun, isn't it? If I could change a single event in the Legends timeline, what would it be and why? Can I say no regrets? No regrets. You're thinking, Matt, wouldn't you want some of the old bad books gone? Yeah, maybe I'd wish away something that didn't happen. But for good and I hear a bunch of people screaming Crystal Star right now. But for good or bad, I think I'd keep it all. No backsies. No backsies for me. Great question, but no backsies. Michael, Dark Nest trilogy is awesome. You're going to love it. I love the Dark Nest trilogy. Have I watched any of the Alien movies? Yes, seen them all. I do not like the newer ones. I hated Covenant. I thought it was so stupid. I'm not going to give away the ending. Who didn't see that twist coming? I mean, the only thing that would have been a good twist is if that was not the twist, right? There was no twist at the end. It was just so ridiculous how they just insulted the intelligence of the fans in theaters. However, Bruce loved it. Thinks it's one of the best ones. That's my best friend. Yeah, it's like fire and water, man. I'm fire. He's water. Has the EU ever showed the creation of the Chosen One prophecy? No. No, it has not. That'd be actually some nice lore, wouldn't it? Where'd the prophecy come from? Well, I see Blade Runner 2049. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it. I hope it's good. Slayer. Oh, gaming one. Okay, good. I'm a big fan of zombies. Me too, Slayer. I want to get an expansion. I have the 2nd, 3rd, and 7th. Which would you recommend? I want to get an expansion. And okay, are you saying you have the 2nd, 3rd, and 7th expansions? So if so, I would go with let me see. The 4th is really good. It has zombie dogs. 5th, okay. 6th is pretty good. It has the subway tokens. 8, 9. 9 has the zombie kids, but the automatic cards I don't really like. 10 is good. 10's a good one. 11 has the office, which is pretty good. It's completed there. 12 is the zoo. Some of the rules are kind of sketch, but I do like 12. 13 is really good. I love 13. 3.5 is a mini one too. If you have 2 and 3, then 3.5 would be a nice mini one to add to it. It's just cards. Let's go with 13. 13. I'm sticking with 13 as my final answer. 13. But if you got 4, 6, or 10, those are good too. After that, 9 and 11 would come in 3rd place, and the rest of them, which what haven't I mentioned? 5. Not that 5 is bad, be fine. 14, you should get that one last, if at all. 15 is actually pretty good. The newer one, that's actually the desert one. We played that a couple of times. We did a live play on it too, and that was actually surprisingly a lot of fun. So 15 is a good one too. I put 15, 13, and up there. Those are 2 good ones. But I love zombies. Slayer, you should come. Listen to me, Slayer. You should come to Louisiana. We're going to do Zombiegeddon again this year, where we combine all. Right now, it's 15 expansions plus we add Cthulhu, Martians, all the humans expand. I mean, it's just this mega game, Medieval, the spinoff, and we play this mega game all day. It's really fun. What are some of the most important factors in the Star Wars? What are some of your most important factors in the Star Wars expanded universe? Michael, I need you to expound on that question. Do you want to become the next leadership with Lucasfilm Company? Me? I mean, if they make a Legends division and they need someone to head it up, I'd be open to the job. All right. Dark Phoenix, I understand if you don't want digital. I'm that way too. But a lot of people like digital, and it is cheap. Uh-oh. Oh, what happened? No, I lost it again. Hold on. Okay, I think I'm where I should be. Okay. Have I read a series of unfortunate events? No, I saw the Jim Carrey movie. I have not seen the Netflix TV show. I thought the Jim Carrey movie was okay. You know what, David? If it's your first time to read the Throne Trilogy, don't be embarrassed, man. Don't be embarrassed. Someone asked a question. When am I? That was one of the questions. I couldn't find a lot of the questions on YouTube that I know I saw. Someone asked a question. It was a really good question. When can I be considered a hardcore fan? Well, I mean, hardcore is something that the Wall Street, no, what was it? Washington Times called about, EU fans. They call us hardcore fans. If you like anything outside the movies and the regular TV shows and you're interested in it, then I'd say you're hardcore. I mean, what if someone who reads all the new canon stuff and the comic books, are they hardcore? Yeah, they would be, as definition states. EU fans are all hardcore too because they love to see more of what's just given to them in the movie. So even someone like David, who's just reading the Zahn trilogy for the first time, he's kind of embarrassed. David, switch it around. In the board game community, I have a lot of people roll their eyes when I say I love Catan. Oh, it's Catan. That's like such an old game. It's been around forever. It's yesterday's news. Yeah, but I'm exploring things for the first time. I'm playing these games that shoot, I got a game not too long ago that's been out for a while. I've never played it before. I was like, but this is a great game. It came out like 8 years ago or something. I was like, it's a really good game. Of course, I'm finding it for the first time, and people have seen it, played it, they're moving on. But me, I'm like, ooh, everything's new to me. So there's no shame in that game. Michael says, finished reading the Darth Bane trilogy, and it was God. Was it that good? Do you think it's dumb that Sony is making a standalone Venom movie that has nothing to do with Spider-Man or the MCU? Yeah, I do think that's really weird. Well, only because they're part of the MCU now. If they had chosen not to be a part of it and done their own little thing, that'd have been fine. But look at DC. I think they're doing their own standalone Joker movie that's not even involved with the rest of the DCU. Why even start putting things? Either connect them or don't. You don't have to connect superhero movies, but when you choose to, choose to stick to it, and then say, "Oh, I'm getting bored about this. Let's do our own thing." We'll see how it does. Right now, they are betting that no superhero movie can fail, and that will be the start of their unraveling. Superhero movies will not. They will be around probably forever, but they will not be in abundance as we see them today. I think they will die down eventually, like sci-fi franchises. Horror movies were everywhere. We still get horror movies, not as many as we used to back in the day. Everyone goes through their little stages, and we'll eventually see not the end of it, but the end of its popularity. You'll still see superhero movies from now to Kingdom Come. As long as people are buying them tickets, they're going to give you them movies. Whoa, Captain Willem, you're reading the Wheel of Time for the Wheel of Time series for the third time? Bless you, sir. Wheel of Time is actually really good, folks, but starting from, and Captain Willem, you can agree with me or disagree. Which book was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After, I think it's after Fire from Heaven, or maybe Lords of Chaos, it drags. It starts dragging. The books start dragging. It's not that they're bad. He has so many split different characters that the story just drags a lot. And that's the only bad thing about it. It's a fantastic series. It does drag in the middle. And Captain Willem, I actually got my very first novel autographed by Robert Jordan. It was his last public appearance before he passed away. And I didn't know he was going to pass away. He was really thin by then. But super cool guy to meet, and so proud that I have an autograph from him. I hadn't even read The Wheel of Time at the time. I just knew I bought the book. I was like, well, I'm going to have him sign it while he's here. I'm glad I did. One of my proudest autographs. Why do you hate novels? The first canon novels were originally written for Legends. They originally ordered for Legends, John. They weren't written at the time. If you talk to who was the first guy to write one, he said he didn't know what he was writing. He found out he was writing a new canon later, but it was while he was working on the draft. James Luceno had an idea but didn't have anything written, and the other authors did not have anything written either. They just were given seeds. And then when the time came to write, they already knew they were writing in the new canon. So there. And I mean, what would happen if all those books would have come out in the canon? Would they have been good? Maybe, but I bet a lot of them would have been ho-hum. Because not every EU book was good. If you guys have seen my reviews, I'll even tell you the book was okay. The story is and I'll even bash on stuff I think is bad. So I don't think the EU is without fault. I just not everything was a home run. And it's not that I don't hate the new canon novels. I just don't have an interest. Darth Bane, I don't know what version of the Silmarillion you're looking at. Maybe it's in smaller print. I don't know. You can pick up any print, though. Now, I'll be honest, it's a tough read because it reads like a history book. But I love that. I think the Silmarillion's great. Favorite kind of alien species? Ewoks. Cheated myself out of that answer, didn't I? I don't know. Y'all have asked me that before. What did I say in the past? I can't remember. Slayer, have you ever thought about making a podcast? I would listen to it. Slayer, I have 2 podcasts, Prince of the Universe, which basically talks about Star Wars and other stuff. And then I have one called Saturday Morning Sound Flange, where we give a top 5 reasons of something. And then every once in a while, I do talk about board games on Saturday Morning Sound Flange. And I had those 2 podcasts that had 2 different, even though they can be connected, but they're 2 different interests there. So they both come out right now. It used to be every week, but right now, because of busy schedules and extremely busy schedules for me now, we're going to have to split it and go every other week. But yeah, the latest ones just came out. I think the next one about Gen Con comes out this Saturday. Gen Con 2017. It wasn't there, but I gave my thoughts on it with Dylan. So if you look at my monthly updates, I actually put the links to the, well, that's to the blog spot, but you can find them on iTunes. Saturday Morning Salmon Flange and Prince of the Universe. How would you feel if the new canon revealed the existence of an alternate universe? Yeah, Tanner, I've been asked that question before. What if the EU lived in an alternate universe? Or what if the EU had a book where Luke and everyone have to restart the universe? They have to go back in time and change everything, and now it's the new canon story that takes place. I've heard about this. I said, would you like that? No. Folks, I was invested in this story, and I really liked it, and I don't think they have to do that. I mean, yes, the expanded universe is an alternate universe now. That is true. Would I want the 2 to connect? No, I don't think they have to. I know some fans would probably like that, but I mean, I'm just not one of them. That's just me. Do I have any thoughts on Justice League and Justice League America? I like Justice League. I like DC a lot. I think their movies suck. I'm not excited about that new movie. Justice League, it looks awful. I'm going to see it because my wife wants to see it, but I do not think. And the funny thing is, Batman is one of my favorite superheroes, and I hated Batman versus Superman. And I thought Christopher Nolan's 3rd Batman film was dumb. Let's see. What's one thing from the Star Wars films that you would change or retcon inside the EU? Again, no take backsies. I think I'd be happy with what they've done. What's done is done. I mean, even the prequels, which had their problems, what's done is done. Do I think the Sith had evil mentality in the pre-Republic era when they were freeing themselves from the Rakhtans? And how far down do you think the evil mentality came to be? You know what, James? I've never thought of that about that. Did they have an evil mentality? Probably so. Probably so, I would say. How far down the line did it go? And maybe it was just there the whole time. And I don't know. Maybe when they became their own masters, it just manifested. I don't know. It's a good question, though. Is the cake a lie? Cake. Cake never lies. Cake is tasty and good. Uh-oh, I think I'm going to lose everything here. Will you be on time for the Saturday Samoflange? Yes. Uh-oh, did I lose everything? Hold on. Let me get back here. If Exar Kun was resurrected earlier in the timeline during the Clone Wars era, do you think the Jedi of the time, such as Mace Windu and Obi-Wan, would be able to deal with him, as well as the New Jedi Order? Ooh, I don't know, but it would be interesting. I think they'd always would be. I think there's always a champion who could take him down, but that would have been an interesting storyline. Or would they have challenged him more so? I don't know. That would have been interesting. It'd be. I like the Mace Windu Obi-Wan thing. I'd have loved to seen that. That's actually a sweet idea to think about. Have you heard of the Holonet News website that has Legends news articles that are before episode 2? No, I know about Holonet News, but I don't know about the website. Oh, rats. Did I just do this again? Let me go back. What's your favorite hit period in history and why? War between the states, North and South, probably. I studied that one a lot in college. I'm a history major. So that would probably be one of my favorites. If you were asked by Disney to continue the Legends novels, would you? Oh, heck yeah, Ham Solo, you know I would. Yeah. The Old Republic game mentioned a Vong scout ship entering the galaxy. Was that story ever told in the novel or comic book? Technically, not that particular instance, but it probably in some way connects with oh, help me. Now I got to get up and find what that book is because my mind has gone blank. I'm going to know it the moment I look over it. Rogue Planet, dadgummit. Rogue Planet. It doesn't mention the scout ship, but it may connect those two. Oh, it's 9 o'clock already? All right. All right, let's do one more here. John keeps hearing about how they want to do a Spawn movie. Do I have any interest in it? Yes, I love the first one. It's probably dated big time by now. But yeah, I'd like to see another Spawn movie. That'd be nice. Who would win a fight, Eevee or Yub-Nub? Yub-Nub all the way. He is a mean little Ewok. What do I think about the Justice League expanded universe from DC Comics? I haven't read them, but I hear they're good. Hold on, let's see. Come on, dude. Okay. There's. Oh man. Okay. All right. So I gotta end up on one more. I promised Short Stormtrooper I'd answer his question. I think I said at the very beginning. I'm sorry, Short Stormtrooper. I meant at the very end. His question was that what do I think of the people who are trying to boycott the new movie, who are asking people to boycott the new movie? Well, I think that's a little silly, and here's why. The people who are calling for a boycott are people who are not going to watch it in the first place. I don't eat at Burger King. I stopped eating at Burger King years ago. Don't find their food edible at all. If I called for a boycott against Burger King, what am I doing? Nothing. I'm doing nothing. I'm not boycotting them. I never went to them in the first place. So for these people to say, yeah, we're boycotting the new movie. No, you wouldn't go see the new movie in the first place. If you boycott something, that means you were, going to it or giving it your business beforehand. These EU fans who say, yeah, we're boycotting the new movie. No, you weren't going to go see it anyway. I think that's just ridiculous to say that. And plus, it wouldn't make a difference because the movies make a lot of money. If you want, as EU fans, expanded universe fans, if you want Lucasfilm to listen to you, just ask. Continue to ask. Ask every day. Ask all the time. Get your friends online to ask. When is Legends? Can we get some newer Legends? Hey, I know you're all having fun with the new canon. How about some more Legends? We can keep asking. We can ask politely. We can keep asking. But you keep and then they see we're not going away, folks. We're not going away. Expanded Universe fans are still going strong. They're growing every day. I hear more and more people. It's one of my favorite emails to get. Matt, just got started into the EU, started watching your videos. A buddy of mine introduced me to your channel. What should I read? I'm like, love that question. It's a great question. And I get more of those every day. And I don't care if they like the new canon or not. That's totally cool if they do. It's totally cool. And you know what? A lot of people who I know within the EU movement also do like the new canon. And they're like, yeah, I'd love to see some new EU as well. Great. All we have to do is ask. Our numbers keep growing every day. Just continue to ask. But saying you're going to boycott the movie and you weren't even going to it in the first place, it's not really a boycott. But anyway, there's my 2 cents. All right, folks, that is it. You know what? It's been a lot of fun here. I almost said lot, and I said load, and it came out as lud. I do that a lot. It's weird. But anyway, it's been a load of fun. I've had a great time. I'm going back to finish a movie with the missus. But I like this time. It was a little bit earlier. For some people said, man, you do it so late. So I did a little bit earlier. I know people overseas cannot catch it at this time. So I promise, can I do it the next time? I'll try to do it on a morning, a Saturday morning maybe, where I can catch people overseas too, because I do want to give them a chance to check out the podcast, the live Q&A as well. Folks, be sure to check out theexpandeduniverse.com. Matt Chat is up today. There will be more. You can submit questions there. I won't respond because I don't have a Facebook page, but I will read them over, and maybe if I find a good one, that'll be another subject of Matt Chat, even though I think I have like 2 or 3 ideas right now, almost covering the whole month. But folks, it's as always, always great time talking to you. Thank you so much for giving me your time tonight and letting me have a little fun and talking to all my friends. All right, folks, I will see you later.